Guys, this video is quick and short, and I'm going to quickly show you how to access your WordPress backend and what are the options and functions available so that you can get an idea of how to use your own backend. Alright, so first you need to go to your website URL, whatever that may be. So for mine, this is a demo website, so demo.webcow.net. But when you type that, all you need to do is put a /wp-admin. So it could be anything. It should be your website.com/wp-admin. All right. Now usually some developers change this so that it's not easily accessible, but that's the major part of WordPress that stays the same, and it's pretty default. So when you go there, enter it, you will come to the screen like this where you would put your credentials. And once you do that, you can click remember me so that you don't have to keep doing this over and over again. You can even save your password. I usually save them. All right, so once you log in, you will come to this screen. This is a default fresh WordPress install, and it has nothing else added, nothing extra added. It just, when you install WordPress for the first time, this is what's gonna look like. So what are the major components of the backend? The backend consists of a few major parts. So dashboard is the screen that you see when you first log in to your backend, and this has just some basic information, maybe an overview of your post pages, your site health. Not very important, not very useful at this stage, but maybe you can use some apps or some plugins that will be more beneficial. For example, if you have WooCommerce, you can see the orders and products and things like that, or analytics. Anyway, so this is the dashboard. You can customize it as you wish. These panels are movable. You can move them as you like. The things that are important to you, you can keep them on one side. All right. Now, some updates will show up here as well, like if the theme needs updating or if the WordPress needs updating, which usually happens frequently. You can go here and see if the WordPress needs updating. Of course, when updating WordPress, there's some steps you need to follow to ensure that your website doesn't go down. All right. The next section is post, which is basically all the blogs. This section consists of things that you want to create, as in blog, resources, tips, things like that. And these are actually different than pages because you can create categories and tags and each post here. So for example, this is the default one that comes with WordPress. This can be accessed through multiple keywords, multiple tags, multiple categories. This one right now is uncategorized, and if you click on this, let's say, you can customize all these options. You can create title, you can change the URL here if you want a different than the title. Usually the title automatically gets here. Things like you want to publish it, you want to make the visibility to private, things like that you can change here. You can update it once you've done the editing part. Categories, you can create new categories here. You can add new tags. Why category is important? Because you want to show a certain post in certain pages, and tags are important also because you want to kind of collect and cluster your posts based on different topics. You can have a featured image. This is the one that shows up usually when you create a grid layout or a list of your posts. This is the actual content. Right now, the WordPress theme editor, the editor itself is very simple and basic. So you can just have, your text. You can add your links. You can add some extra content. If you click this one, you will see more options. You can add images and things like that as well. But depending on your theme, this will differ. So this is just the post section where you can create posts. Now, depending on your theme, this will be different. All right. You may have a different editor here. You may have a drag and drop editor. So this section is for blogs. All right. The next section is media. This is all your pictures, videos, files that you upload that you can link on. Right now, there's nothing in this one, but once you put them through this directly or through the themes that you're updating. So if you're creating a page, you can add a media. When you add the media, there will be an option to upload it or use from media library. This will have a lot of other features, including editing it, getting the link directly to it, cropping it. So this is basically where all your content that you upload or you use as links or in your content will be here. Next section is pages. This is, I believe, the most important thing in terms of going ahead with your website. So you can create your home page, your services, your about page. Everything is done through this. And pages differ from posts because they are not categorized. They are simply URLs that have a title. They don't have a per se specific number or category. So when you click on add new, you will see the section where you can give the title of the page. So if I don't have a home page because this is the fresh install, so you need to create a home page, and you can just write the content home page here, for example. Now, like I said, depending on your editor, this editing section will be different. You will have much advanced features. All right. Again, same thing. You can save it, preview it, and publish it. So once you publish it, that's going to go online. So I'm going to quickly publish this one. You can also actually create hierarchies. I don't really recommend creating a parent page. Let every page be on its own. So for example, home, unless you want to create something that's like home/home2, but don't do that. Don't need featured images for this one because whatever content is here is gonna show up. So you click publish for this one, and that's done. So that's where you create the pages for services for all the other content that you're gonna link other than your blogs. The next section is comments. This is all the comment that people will post on your blogs. You can create them, you can yourself, you can approve them, you can delete them. So all the comment will be here. You can control some of the settings for this in the settings section. All right. The next one is appearance. This one is, I think, the most vital when it comes to designing your website. So the first section is themes. Themes is all the skins that you use. So the essence of WordPress is themes, and you need a theme to start. Theme is basically a skin that kind of shows your website a certain way. Now there are a lot of free ones that you can use. So this is the first starting step. When you get a website, the first thing is to get a theme that you like. So you can do your research firsthand, or you can find the free ones directly from theme section here. So, or you can just upload if you have bought one. You have to follow the instructions, but more or less a lot of themes are available on the marketplace here. There's plenty of free ones you can use. Yeah, I'm not going to show you how to customize it because this is just basically about the interface. So if you have a designer working on it, they already have this section set up. You will already have your theme set up and installed, so you don't need to worry about it. But if you're doing it yourself, you need to kind of understand how a theme is installed and set up so that you can go ahead and create a website. All right, the next section is customize. This is where you can customize your theme. So once you install a theme, you have to go and edit things, change the fonts, change the headings. So all the sections will be available based on your theme. So some theme will have more options here, some may have less. This is the default theme with WordPress, and it has just these features available to it. We can change them. I don't want to go into this thing because I want to make this video very quick. So basically you can change a lot of things here that are very generic that will be all over your site. So this are overall site changes. You can go to customize section, logo, you can change the color, how the fonts will be, for example, or the buttons, depending on your options. All right. The next section is widgets. This is also important because these are the little nuggets, these are little boxes or reusable sections that you can place on one page, and it will follow the other pages of the similar type, depending. For example, usually widgets are in the footer. If I quickly open this, so you can see the site, this is the site. So this section from here down, all the way here is the footer, and this is the footer that already here. So if you see search, post, custom widget, first widget, I've created this one before, and if I delete this one quickly, so this is where you can add more content to your footer and will stay on your site no matter where the viewers go. All right, you can add an image, you can add a custom HTML navigation menu, depending. So if I do this, actually, for example, here you can create this, and it will create that section there. All right, but it all depends on your theme. So some theme will have advanced features. All right, you can create your own as well. The next one is menus. Menus is important because this is the header of your site. This is the page you see here, sample home world. So you can have this navigation here, and that is called the menu. And this is where you will define the structure. So you can create a new menu, or you can create a new menu, or you can save the one you have. You can add, for example, I have added a home page here. So this section will have your pages. Then we have a list of your blogs. You can have a custom link here. You can have your categories. So you can put a few options that will be available on the left side to this panel here, which is your actual menu. So if I'm going to add the home, I'm going to select this one and click add to menu. So now it will come. You can drag these and you can organize them, arrange them as you please. You can, for example, this became the second sub menu, and if I add this one, it will become third level menu. I click on it, I refresh this, and you will see that now it has changed. So now it's home, Google, and under Google there's sample page. All right, so you can create your menu however you feel like during this, and you can then manage the location where you want the menu appear. So our websites will have different sections. So it will be header, there will be a footer, there will be something on the side, it will be subheader, things like that. And you can choose wherever this first menu that you created, for example, this one first menu I have here, you can add it to any location. I have added it to desktop horizontal menu, which is this bar over here. So you can change that and you can add it anywhere else, and you can just save it. So that's basically the menu. You don't need anything in the background. Theme editor is for advanced users who want to change the code of their website. I don't recommend doing that at this stage when you're starting new. So stick to whatever you can visually change. The last most important section is the plugins, because WordPress completely runs on plugins, and it is important that you have the right plugins that you need to improve the functionality of a website and to create a better looking, more interactive user experience. Now you can add a new one depending on if you know what you're looking for, or if the plugin comes with your website with the theme. You can update it here. The list of themes will show, the plugins will show here, and you can just for example, this one is deactivated. You can delete them, activate them. You can do all the work here. You can, when you add, for example, click add, you will see all the plugins and you can search for them. Usually the first thing you should install is Yoast. It's a SEO plugin. There's plenty of them, but I recommend this one, and you can just click install. That's how it is basically. So you see the list and then install, and then you click activate, and it will activate the plugin for you. Once the plugin is activated, it will show up here. You can change the settings here, and it will also show up on the left side depending on the type of plugin it is. It may create its own entry here, or it may be in the settings section or in the tools section. So you can do advanced changes to do the specific plugin here. All right, now these things are not important. Don't worry about them and don't even bother about them. The next one is user. This is your login. You can create multiple users. You can give access to your editors or outsiders who can change the website. You can give access to designers to make changes. You can define their roles. This one is administrator. There are a few roles you can define. Some plugins may create their own roles. For example, WooCommerce creates customer, things like that. So do this only if you're required to do that. You don't need to worry about these things at this stage. Tools. The most important tool is export, since if you want to make backup. But this is a very generic, very basic export an XML file, and it will be useful if you want to bring things back. It's not going to bring a lot of the configuration and your appearance of the website, but it's going to bring your post, pages, and media content back, so you can at least copy your pages, your files, and your blogs, the content wise. In terms of demo and the website structure and how it looks, you will need to back it up using your control panel or your hosting or some additional advanced plugins. The other only option that you need to worry about here is the site health. This one is gonna tell you what your website is missing or what it needs to be sorted, because this may have some critical and security issues here that you will need to take care of before you can you can be sure that you can launch your website without any issues. So there's two sections here: the critical, because there's no critical issues here, it's not showing anything. These are the recommended ones. I have some inactive plugins that says us to remove it. There's some inactive themes that I should remove, and I need to update my PHP version, which is the programming that is running the whole website. So these are the things you need to worry about. Settings. The whole website can be managed through the whole WordPress configuration can be managed under this section. This will be your site title. Make sure this is very credible, not too long, not too short, because this is what's going to show up on the tabs and also on WordPress, on Google. This you should not change it unless you're upgrading from HTTP to HTTPS. If you change this, if you mess it up, you may lose access to your website, and you will have to go through your database and change the entries to get access back. So don't change any of this unless you know what you're doing. You can change the date format, time, and everything like that. Writing, this is your content. If your default blog categories and how you want things to appear, your editor, usually the classic editor will not be there. You have to install this plugin. The blog editor will be the default plugin with the new WordPress plugins these days. All right, reading, this is more for your appearance. So usually it will be your last post, it will be the home page, because this is how our users will see your website. So change it to a static site and select the home page as whatever page you want to be the home page. You select that, and for your post pages, you can select the blog page where you will assign blogs to. I'm not going to go into detail of how this is done, but this is where you can control the appearance of your main pages. Discussion, like I said, this is the comment section before. You can change some settings here. You can activate, deactivate comments. You can set up approval. Users have to be logged in to create your comments and things like that. The basic comment related settings can be changed here. This is your media content. This is actually not very important, but if you want to change things like thumbnail size, medium sizes, large sizes, how you want the WordPress to crop your images for these sizes so you can use them directly, you can just say thumbnail size in a specific page and it will automatically use these settings. Don't really need to worry about it as much, but you can change them here. One of the very vital and important section is permalinks. This is how your URL will show. For example, right now this is how it is. If I go to hello world, this is how it's going to show. It's going to show the title that we created. You can change that. You can change it to, for example, archive mode, and when I save it, I'll quickly show you how this is done. And when you go here, refresh this, it will change the URL. You see that it changed. Now this is very important, so when you set up your website, make sure you set it up once and you set it up right the way you want it. Usually the post name is sufficient. You can create your own custom ones if you know what you're doing, but once you set it up, do not change it, because once Google starts indexing your website and it starts to appear on Google, and if you change it like this, now this is completely different URL than the one before. So Google will, if Google had indexed it hello-world and you change it to this, then Google will think that that page is missing, so it will give you a 404 error and it will affect your SEO and ranking. So once you fix this, stick to it. All right, so I'm going to go back to this one and I'm going to save it. I'll quickly show you. This should have been refreshed, and okay, see, now it's not found because we changed it. So if we need to go back to hello world, and that is changed. All right, this was the last section that was important. You can create a privacy policy. You can upload it here, and limited login attempts is a plugin that you need to have. It's important because accessing your WordPress website can be something very easy, because all the hackers need to know is this, and if this is not changed, which is usually not changed, and like a lot of people don't do that, then they can simply go to your login page and then keep trying it, and they may get access if you have very weak password and username. So this is basically the whole gist of the WordPress interface. Post, media, pages, these are the only three things you need as an ongoing basis. Appearance is if you keep changing your design or you're in the initial stage of designing your website, you will need this a lot more, and that's how you can manage your whole WordPress. Plus, when you go to the website, if you have logged in, you will see this little black bar at the top, which makes your editing life much easier. So you will have things like edit the post. If you're on a specific page, for example, if I go here to the sample page, you will see that the edit page option is here. Some more features will be available. Things like customize your website can be done through here, so you don't have to really go into backend to make these changes. This will all be accessible here. And I guess that's about the whole interface. And if you need more information, if you need me to make something more clear, I can make a video in the future, but till then, Take care.